Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Bullseye Nate 231, and today I'm going to be showing you how to patch a tire. As you can see, I got a bolt sticking out of this tire right here, and so we're going to deal with that today because we can't be on the road with bad tires. So what you're going to need is a valve stem tool, a couple of bars to take the tire off the rim, and this is what you call a bead breaker. So basically it's a rod inside of a hose, and it's got a flat end on one side, and you put it right here on the rim, and then you hammer it. So anyway, obviously you're going to need a new patch, and we're not going to plug this. Could be something that could be done, but we're going to patch this tire right from the inside and take it off the rim. Alright, so get your valve stem tool, and you stick it right in here and you twist it like so, and you're going to hear the air start to come out of there. So basically you just take this stem out so all the air can drain out of the tire. Just make sure you hold on to it, and that's what it looks like, the inside of the valve stem. So we're just going to put that on the side. We don't want to lose that. And you just let all the air come out. While you're letting the air come out, I've got some water here in a bottle with soap. And we're just going to spray the bead. This is going to help let the tire slip. Alright, so we got it all sprayed down. Basically that's just dish soap, Dawn, with water mixed. And you'll do that on both sides of the tire. So we'll spray that side before we do that, but we're gonna break the bead on the front first. All right, so now I've got the bead breaker. And what you're gonna want to do is you want to gotta get it in the tire just like that, push down a little bit. That's why it's important to let all the air out. And then you're just gonna take this and you're gonna beat it like that, and we're just gonna work our way all the way around the tire. Our way around. Walking out a little bit more. And there it is. The tire broke the bead. And we got to do the same for the other side. Alright, so again we're going to, we've got the tire flipped over. We put it in the grass. That way we don't scratch up the front side of the rim. And we're going to use our bead breaker, and we're just going to work our way around the tire. And one more good hit, it should be off. There it is. Bead's broken on this side. So we've got the tire flipped back over, the bead's broken on both sides. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark on the tire where the valve stem is. And when we put the tire back on the rim, we're going to line it up in the same spot. Also, if you have any weights that are mounted to the rim, you want to mark where those are, which we've got one. These are mounted inside on the rim, so I'm just going to kind of do a rough, quick estimate where they're at. But if you line the valve stem up, this should be about the same. So it starts here, and then they got one through here. But yeah, if you had one on the face of the rim, you'd want to mark that as well. So we want to take the tire off from the shallow side, always from the shallow side of the tire. So that's why we turned it back over, and we're going to start prying on it from this side. Alright, so now you're going to want to take your tire tool and try and get it up underneath your tire. You're basically trying to get in between the tire and the rim so that you can start to get it up like so. And then once you get a little piece, you're going to want to take your second tire tool and start working it around. I'm trying to do this with one hand here, so turn it around. See, and there's a little bit more, and then we're just going to work it around a little bit more. Just be careful around this valve stem. This one has the wireless technology where it tells you what the tire pressure is in the car. And there it is. So now we got it all the way. So this one's off completely. We'll stand it up. As you can see, like I said, you always want to take it off from the shallow side. And we're going to work it off same type of way, a little bit at a time. And there it is. This is that wireless technology I was telling you about. They've got this made into the valve stem, so that way you can know when the tire pressure is low. The little light comes on your dash and tells you. So we're going to put the rim to the side and locate the hole. And there it is right there. That's the hole. Alright, so we're going to get our patch and stuff, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so now we're back here with all the tools you're going to need. This is a Robomatic rubber cleaner, so we're going to use that here in just a minute. I'll show you what to do. We got a new patch. We've got the glue for the patch. This is fast drying rubber cement. This is a scraper to clean the excess off, and then this is used to roll over the patch to make sure the patch is good and steady. So what we're going to do first is, here's a drill with a wire brush on the end. They also have this option. It's called a stone. This would just go in the end of the drill, but we're going to use the wire brush. If you look here, you can see there's ridges and notches in the tire and the rubber. What we've got to do is we've got to get this whole surface flattened and smooth so that the patch will stick to the rubber. So we're going to clean this whole surface with this wire brush and the drill, and then we're going to get everything smooth and clean it with the super rubber cleaner, Robomatic rubber cleaner, and then we'll put the fast drying cement and then put the patch. And so I'm going to show you step by step here how to do this. Alright, so we're here, we're checking to make sure that the patch fits on the smooth spot. You can see how all this is smooth. It looks like the patch is going to fit in that little section right there pretty good. You want the patch right in the middle of the hole. So you want the patch right over the center. You want the patch with the grain in the tires. So we're going to go ahead and clean this surface and put the patch on. Alright, so now we're going to use the rubber cleaner. Take the rubber cleaner, spray the surface real good. And then you're going to take the scraper and scrape away the excess particles that may be left on the tire. The reason you do this is because the patch won't stick if there's trash underneath in the tire. So that's why we want to make sure that we get the surface good and clean so that we have a good patch and we don't have a tire that's leaking after this is done. We got the surface good and clean. So now we're going to get our rubber cement and coat the whole area that the patch is going to be stuck to and let that dry a few minutes. Alright, so now that the area is completely dry, make sure that you never touch that section, so that way you don't get any oils or anything on there can mess up the curing process. So now we're going to put the rubber cement all around that area. Again, you want to make sure the patch is in the center of the hole, so make sure you put enough to be around there. And you can wipe away the excess that you scraped off, as I did right there in the tire. So now we're going to let this rubber cement cure for a few minutes, And then we'll get ready to put the patch on. Alright, so our rubber cement is starting to dry real good. So we're going to go ahead and move to getting the patch on. So next we're going to set the patch in there. And remember, try to get the patch in the center of the hole. If you notice on the patch, it says bead right here, and it has an arrow pointing this way, and it says bead and an arrow pointing that way. Make sure that you always put your patch in a line with the grains in the tire and the beads. You can see the lines, how they're moving this way. That's which way you want your patch. You don't want your patch diagonal. You want to make sure it's in line with how it corresponds on the patch. As you start to run the little roller over the patch, make sure you start in the middle and work your way to the outside, like so. And just go over the whole patch, make sure you get it stuck down good. So that way you don't have any air pockets, you will be less susceptible to leaking and such. Now that the patch is done being pushed down, you can take the rubber plastic off the top, and you can kind of see where it says bead a little bit better now. It says bead, bead, and we're going with the bead in the tire. Alright, we're going to add a little rubber additive around the patch just to secure. It's called a rubber security coat, and we're going to put that on there just to ensure that there's no leakage from this hole in this tire. Alright, so when applying the security coat, we're just going to paint around the patch like so. Basically, this just dries like rubber, so it's just an extra security to help keep the patch from leaking, and that'll turn black when it's dry, just like the rest of the tire. Alright, so just like taking the tire off, we're going to start with the shallow side going back on. We're going to coat the bead of the tire with some soapy water. That way it slides on easier. Be sure not to get any of that on your patch inside the tire. Also apply some to the bead itself on the rim where the bead's gonna seat. Alright, so we got the tire back on over the rim, and we're gonna start with the valve stem there. That way we don't risk messing up that little sensor right there on there. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of work it on there like so. Just work its way around. Alright, there's the first part. This is why you try and get the shallow side first, because it's easier to slide on. If you tried to slide it on the deep side, it'd be a lot harder. Alright, so again, we're going to start right here on the valve stem, so that way we don't mess it up. Be sure to keep it on this carpet so we don't mess up the rim. You might need your tire iron a little bit for this part. Also, if you have a rubber mallet, sometimes that helps. And we're just going to work the tire around the bead. Until it seats on the rim. I need it at a time. Get the second tire iron in there. This last little part is the hardest part. Trying to get that tire to stretch over the bead. Almost there. We're standing on the tire to keep it from trying to walk back off. And this will be the last little bit. And there it goes. A little bit more. One more little part. That's it. The tire is back on the rim. Alright, so now we need to put air back in. Alright, so I got my air compressor all charged up. You may recognize that this air compressor from the Trash Finds. Works like a champ. So we're going to be using that to air up the tire here. Got it all charged up. So before we air up the tire, we're going to make sure that our valve stem is lined up on our mark. So as you can see, it's off just a tad. So we're going to kind of rotate this around. Alright. It looks pretty close. Look down here at our weights. We got the marks here. Yep, they're lined up. Alright. So now we're ready to put some air back in this tire. Alright, so we're going to put the valve stem back in. Like so. Just make sure you get it good and tight because those can leak if they're not tightened all the way. Alright, and now the tire is ready for the air. So here we go till 38 psi. As you begin to air it, sometimes it'll leak a little bit. You might have to kick it, but the tire, you can see, hasn't seated yet. Started leaking right there, and you see it pop, and now it's all the way on the bead, all the way around. There's the bottom. So we'll just keep going until 38 psi. Alright, so we got 38 psi back in the tire. We got everything all lined up. The tire's been seated back on the bead. So that's it. We're ready to install this tire back on the vehicle. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful. You are going to have to kind of get some extra tools. If you don't, you probably won't have a bead breaker laying around the house and all, but this is a way that you can save a quick 30-40 bucks for somebody fixing and nailing your tire. Again, I hope this video was helpful. Please comment with any questions you may have. Like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.